As always, on 6 p.m. Prime, let's very quickly start with the big numbers, the bigger picture of the coronavirus in the country. Where do we stand in India as far as the total number of the caseload is concerned? Active cases in the country right now at 15,221. In the last 24 hours, 3,29,942 cases have been reported in the country. 3,876 people have lost their lives. So has Delhi turned a corner as far as the worst impact on the national capital of the second wave of the COVID-19 virus is concerned? Just take a look. And I just want to put across this data, in fact, in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, that you are seeing on your screens right now. So on your screens are, in fact, the data, in fact, which shows that there is a decline as far as the positivity rate in the number of cases are concerned. On May 5th, Delhi recorded a little over 20,000 infections, and number has steadily declined in the past 1 week. Today, the national capital has recorded just over 12,000 cases. Very quickly, just to discuss this more, and what do these numbers actually mean, and can Delhi now say that we are out of the woods as far as the COVID-19 cases are concerned? I'm being joined by Dr. Arvind Kumar. He's the chairman for Center for Chest Surgery and Lung Transplantation and Director of Institute of Robotic Surgery, Sir Gangaram Hospital, who's joining us this evening. Sir, good evening. Thank you so much for being with us. At least what we can see right now, that in the last few days, 1 week, we have seen a downward trend, and today the positivity rate, sir, stands at 17.74. Would you reckon the worst for Delhi is over?
Mr. Ankit, thank you very much for inviting me in this show, and my very warm good evening to viewers. Just a small correction. I'm at Medanta Hospital and not at Gangaram Hospital. So I'm chairman of Institute of Chest Surgery at Medanta Hospital, Gurugram. Now coming to these numbers, yes, there has been a decline in the number of cases as well as in infectivity rate. From 36%, we've come down to around 17-18%, and the cases are down to about 12,000. And this is what was expected from we are now into 4th week of our curfew, which is a milder form of lockdown, which is exactly what most of us had been requesting when the numbers were rising. So the effect of that milder form of lockdown, whether you use the curfew word or you use the lockdown, its effect is the same. The malls are closed, the markets are closed, most of the places are closed, except for health workers and emergency workers. You don't find very many people on the roads, and the effect is there. But to say that actually we've turned the corner and things are okay and we can start opening it will be dangerous. We still have a large infection in the community, and I don't think it is time to let our guard down. Hospitals are still flooded. Since morning, I must have refused a request for bed to at least 10 people who have literally been begging for a bed in a hospital. So the things are still very bad, but definitely numbers coming down is a positive sign. But we cannot let our guard down, and this whatever response we had, this response has to continue. Ankit.
Sir, you're absolutely right. We can't let our guard down, and we made that mistake once. We were, most of the people were not taking it seriously. The governments also let their eye off the ball, and the second wave hit us very badly. But would you say that Delhi has seen its peak? I mean, we are still in the early phases of possibly a plateau or the cases significantly reducing where the burden could be reduced. But has Delhi gone over the peak?
So as far as the number of daily cases are concerned, probably looking at the trends over the last few days, it seems that we have just turned around the peak and come to that plateau phase beyond the peak, following which there might be a continuous decline. But still, I think few more days we need to watch, and then only we can say. And even if we have started coming down, we had gone up so high, the peak was so high, and the mayhem that it created was so horrible and so horrifying that I don't think anyone can think of letting the guard down at least for 2 more weeks till the numbers are finally down and till the hospitals start having some vacant beds. Mind you, Ankit, even today there are long queues of patients waiting for admission, wanting to get in outside the hospitals, which is a very, very bad scenario.
Dr. Kumar, I also wanted to understand from you, like you are saying that there are still people waiting for hospital beds, though the caseload has come down. Hopefully in a day or two, if the trend continues, we would see the situation improving further. But there is a sudden spike in demand for ICU beds as well. I mean, we've been seeing that people have been struggling, but at least from my own personal experiences, more calls now for oxygen, for ICU and ventilator beds than they were earlier in comparison to the just oxygen bed in a hospital. Do you also see that, sir, more serious cases, severe cases now coming in?
So, Ankit, there is at least 10 to 15 days gap between the incidence of infection peaking and the oxygen and ICU and ventilator demand peaking. Suppose 100 people had got infected about 10 days back. Now, we know that the worst period is between 8th to 14th day, which is when people need oxygen, ICU, ventilator and ICU beds. So the numbers which are less today will reflect in a decreased demand for all these things 2 weeks down the line. The peak, the increasing demand in ICU beds, oxygen and ventilators that we are seeing today is the effect of the very high peak that we saw 2 weeks back. So today there is a big demand for oxygen, for ICU beds. I have been flooded with demands for all these since morning, and I can do nothing except express my helplessness, unfortunately. If the numbers keep coming down, the effect on ICU beds and oxygens and ventilators demand reducing will be seen 2 weeks down the line. Ankit.
Me? So I just wanted to understand from you, and we lost that audio connection at that moment. You know what? Most of the people, what would your advice be to the government? Because we have seen Delhi going through a phase which was absolutely horrible. People were dying. There were no oxygen beds. Massive lack of oxygen supply as far as the hospitals are concerned. What would you say to the government right now? Because we are once again seeing the number of cases coming down. Should we continue with this lockdown or curfew for a few more weeks to make sure the positivity rate comes down further and you know, there is availability of resources for those who are severely ill?
So, Ankit, my answer as a doctor, after seeing what I have seen in the last 1 month, which has been the most horrifying month of my life, my answer will be very, very clear. We are still in a very, very serious state. Ankit, even today, I know at least 4 or 5 people whose oxygens are down. They are managing with oxygen or something at home, and we are trying to get them a bed in some hospital or the other. So at least this week and next week, there is no question of any opening up as far as my view as a doctor is concerned, because as I said, the effect of the numbers coming down now will reflect in terms of decreased bed and ICU requirement 2 weeks down the line. So we need to wait for that much period for the pressure on the hospitals to reduce, some ICU beds becoming available, some hospital beds becoming available. That will be the point of time at which a very slow, very careful, very supervised, and very controlled kind of little bit opening has to be allowed. I also want to appeal to people. It's not just the government's job. It's our lives which are at stake. We have done this mistake once, and all of us have paid a very heavy price for that mistake. And I think now we should keep these memories in our mind, that next time whenever things open up, COVID appropriate behavior will have to be continued at least for the 2021. So mixing parties and all those things at least cannot be thought of for the remaining months of this year, even if all of us get vaccinated, because the virus is going to be around. So 2 weeks status quo, maybe after that, depending on how things are, partial, controlled, slow opening up, but people behaving in a responsible way and not doing the mistake that we did in the month of January and February. Ankit.
Thank you so much, sir. Always a pleasure having you on the show. Very clearly, in fact, just putting out the point there, and because Dr. Kumar and other doctors are at the front line, they are seeing the severe impact. They are seeing how helpless the situation was at the peak in the last couple of weeks. Now, we can't afford to make that mistake again. Can't let our guard down. Neither the people nor the government. We cannot have a repeat of what is happening right now as far as the country is concerned. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to put out another graphic, and it was important to have this discussion because a lot of people already in their head have started thinking vaccination is happening, the infection rate is coming down, it's time to go back to normal. It is yet not time to go back to normal, not at least for 2 more weeks, and then of course all of us will have to be very calibrated in how we go about our business in these very, very difficult times. Now, as I said, I just want to put out some graphics on your screen right now. This tells you about how the vaccination process in the major metros across the country is happening, and that will give you a sense of how we are slowing down as far as the vaccination process is concerned. Now look at Delhi. Doses so far received 41,22,310, 37,55,579 doses have been used by the national capital. 2.19% is the wastage report. Maharashtra, 1,82,52,450 doses received, 1,77,53,694 doses have been used, and about 1.19% wastage. West Bengal, over 1,24,78,640 doses have been received, and over 1,24,34,668 doses have been used. Karnataka is maintaining a very healthy, in fact, wastage percentage, only less than 1%, and they have vaccinated 1,06,09,253 people. Tamil Nadu, meanwhile, has so far vaccinated 68,53,391 people, 4.13, very high wastage percentage as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. Why I wanted to put this out, because yesterday we showed you how this entire process in the last week or so is coming down. In fact, yesterday the numbers that were reported were the lowest in the entire week. Just about 7 lakh people were vaccinated. Now, there is clamor growing from many states, Delhi included, that they are running out of the vaccine. The government of Delhi came out and said that for the age group between 18 to 44, today they have run out of the Covishield vaccine, and only Covaxin, in fact, they have run out, and Covishield is only left for a couple of days. Now, this has, ladies and gentlemen, triggered a huge politics as far as the vaccine shortage is concerned. Now, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He suggested Centre to share the anti-COVID-19 vaccine formula of the 2 manufacturers with the other companies to scale up the production. He also said scaling up of the vaccine production is needed to vaccinate everyone before the onset of the next wave of COVID-19. This comes in midst of the ongoing war of words between the centre and the government of Delhi over the vaccine availability. The BJP claimed the Delhi government has just ordered 5.5 lakh doses of the vaccine. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said the government of Delhi has ordered 1.34 crore. It's the centre which is not letting them get these vaccines.
में हमारे पास अब केवल कुछ दिन के वैक्सीन बचा है और ये समस्या देशव्यापी है। पूरे देश में इस वक्त वैक्सीन की भारी कमी हो रही है। इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि हम भारत में वैक्सीन का उत्पादन युद्ध स्तर पर बढ़ाएं और देश के हर नागरिक को अगले कुछ महीने में वैक्सीन लगाने की राष्ट्रीय योजना बनाएं। मैं आज एक सुझाव देना चाहता हूं। वैक्सीन बनाने का काम केवल 2 कंपनियां ना करें, कई कंपनियों को वैक्सीन बनाने में लगाया जाए। केंद्र सरकार इन दोनों कंपनियों से वैक्सीन बनाने का फार्मूला ले ले और उन सभी कंपनियों को दे दे जो सुरक्षित तरीके से वैक्सीन बना सकती हैं।
वैक्सीनेशन ड्राइव है, उसमें एमसीडीज अब तक 150 सेंटर्स चला रही थी। एक तरफ वैक्सीनेशन का हल्ला किया हुआ है और दूसरी तरफ 60 वैक्सीनेशन सेंटर्स को बंद कर दिया है और लगातार एडवर्टीजमेंट आ रहा है दिल्ली में यूनिवर्सल वैक्सीनेशन जो है वो अरविंद केजरीवाल प्रोवाइड करने वाले हैं। ना तो अभी तक कोई ग्लोबल टेंडर किया है, ना कहीं से वैक्सीन का प्रावधान किया है। यही विपक्ष के लोग वैक्सीन के विरुद्ध युद्ध में लगे हुए थे। युद्ध ये नहीं था कि हम लोग इकट्ठे होकर पहले 60 से ऊपर वालों को वैक्सीनेट करवा दें। युद्ध ये था कि ये हिंदुस्तानी वैक्सीन चलनी नहीं चाहिए, आप फाइजर को अलाउ करो, आप इसको लेके आओ, उसको लेके आओ और अपनी वैक्सीनेशन पॉलिसी के तहत लोगों के मन में भ्रम पैदा करने का काम इन्हीं लोगों ने किया।
So while the government of Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP are sparring, the central government has completely rubbed their hands off the vaccination policy between 8 to 44 years of age for every state. This despite the Supreme Court, in fact, looking into this, the centre has pushed back and said the Supreme Court should not, say too much about the vaccination policy as far as the central government's vaccination policy is concerned. They possibly think it is judicial overreach. Now listen into Love Agarwal, Secretary Health, who has in fact come out and said the central government has nothing to do with this entire procurement of the vaccines for 18 to 44 years of age for any state, because the Delhi government has made the charge that despite placing an order, they were not given vaccines because the centre did not let them do it.
केंद्र सरकार का रोल नहीं है, उसमें केंद्र सरकार सपोर्ट करती है कि ये इंश्योर जरूर करेगी, ये इंश्योर चाहेगी कि कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि कोई पर्टिकुलर स्टेट में ही सारी वैक्सीन चली जाए। और क्योंकि देखिए वैक्सीन सब जगह जरूरत है, तो ये ना हो जाए कि हम उसको उस स्टेज पर ले जाएं कि किसी को मिले किसी को ना मिले। तो उसके लिए एक फैसिलिटेशन, एक गाइडेंस, एक एडवाइजरी के रूप में हम डिस्कस करते हैं स्टेट्स के साथ।
Okay, so you've seen how the authorities in power are fighting with each other, sparring as far as the vaccination policy is concerned. But how easy or difficult is it on the ground to get the vaccine? We've been getting you these stories day after day. Now, my colleague Aishwarya today went in the NCR region to Noida, to Delhi, to just find out what are the bottlenecks. Some people are finding it difficult to book a slot. Those who have the slot are not getting the vaccine. And then the bizarre ruling by the government of Uttar Pradesh of vaccine regionalism. Anybody who resides in Uttar Pradesh has a document, only they will get vaccine in Uttar Pradesh. Does that mean, and I'm repeating this again, that people from Noida should not be coming into Delhi to get vaccinated? Well, that's not the policy of the government. I don't know why the Uttar Pradesh government is making these brackets. Take a look.
Indians fighting one battle after another. States fighting with the centre over one issue after the other. In the national capital, the Modi government and Delhi government don't even agree on the number of vaccines the latter has ordered since May.
केंद्र सरकार की तरफ से चिट्ठी आई कि दिल्ली को 92,840 कोवैक्सीन और 2,67,690 कोविशील्ड ही मिल सकेंगे। ये जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी झूठ बोल रही है कि दिल्ली सरकार ने 5.5 लाख वैक्सीन का ही ऑर्डर किया, दिल्ली सरकार ने 1,34,00,000 वैक्सीन का ऑर्डर किया था।
कुल मिलाकर के 5.5 लाख वैक्सीन का ऑर्डर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने प्लेस किया है। सोचिए 5.5 लाख का वैक्सीन का ऑर्डर प्लेस करते हैं और टीवी में आकर ऐसे एकदम भोला मासूम चेहरा बना करके कि 1,34,00,000 हमने पारित कर दिया है, जी हम आपको दे देंगे, घर घर जाके वैक्सीन दे देंगे। ये इस प्रकार की राजनीति अच्छी बात नहीं है। हकीकत रखिए आप जनता के साथ।
And while the politicians bicker, it's the Aam Aadmi and Aam Mahila across the country who struggles to book a vaccination. 23-year-old Karishma, a resident of Uttar Pradesh, is trying desperately to get a vaccine, but all her attempts have failed so far.
I got the appointment and a slot between 11 to 12:30, but when the vaccination actually started on 1st of May, by the end of the day I received a message which was by the CoWIN platform itself, and it said that my appointment was cancelled and I have to wait until the next appointment slot that can be provided.
Same take, different city. 22-year-old Akanksha has been trying to get a vaccine since May 1st, when it was open for everyone who is 18 plus. But despite many attempts, she hasn't been able to get it.
Since the announcement of the third phase of the vaccination drive, and I have been trying to book a slot through the CoWIN portal, but to no gain. In spite of being registered, there are no available slots.
Citizens of the country are fighting a war on two fronts. On one hand, there is a war to get a bed and to get oxygen cylinders. On the other hand, the war is to get the vaccine, which is the only protection which people have against the deadly COVID-19. For a majority of the people, the only protection they have is in the form of a vaccine. And a lot of people, those who got the first shot, are now desperately waiting for the second one. The question still remains, how will the centre and the state make sure everyone is vaccinated within the stipulated time? This is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting from New Delhi with camera person Satya Ranjan for India Today.
Now you heard, us earlier when we were talking about the fact that ICU beds are in great demand as far as the COVID-19 virus is concerned. There is a rise in the demand as far as the ICU and ventilator beds are concerned. Shortage has led to many unfortunate deaths. Now, to try and augment the current resources, the government of Delhi has started a 500-bed facility attached to the GTB hospital in Dilshad Garden area. These are all 500 ICU beds according to the government of Delhi. Impressive thing about this is that it has come just been built in the last couple of weeks, but whether they have enough oxygen facility, all that now would be tested. It is yet to open. Today, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that it will start taking admissions as far as their serious patients are concerned. Listen in to what first Mr. Kejriwal told, and then we'll try and get a live reaction, a live situation update as far as this facility is concerned, which could help Delhiites.
पिछले 10 दिन के अंदर ये 500 बेड का आईसीयू तैयार किया गया है। हम जानते हैं कि ये सेकेंड वेव कितनी ख़तरनाक वेव रही है, जिसमें मरीज बहुत ज़्यादा बीमार हुए और काफ़ी ज़्यादा डेथ हुई और बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे, व्यापक पैमाने पे संक्रमण हुआ। तो आईसीयू बेड्स की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ी है। आईसीयू बेड्स की कमी पड़ गई थी, तो 500 बेड्स आज यहाँ पे तैयार हो गए हैं।
Abhishek, my colleague, is joining us from this very center as we speak. Abhishek, give us a sense, have they started taking admissions? Because ICU beds right now are in demand in Delhi. This could prove very, very valuable for a lot of patients.
Well, Ankit, certainly the second wave of COVID has hit Delhi so hard that ICU beds are really, really scarce. Right now, still patients are struggling to get an ICU bed across Delhi hospitals. This can be a big breather for those who are suffering with COVID and who need ICU bed, oxygen cylinders and the ventilators. But a similar facility was opened at Radha Swami Satsang, and you know, Ankit, how things are going on there. There is still mismanagement, there is still, multiplicity of authorities. So all these things needs to be fixed to run this center properly, to help Delhiites fight COVID's this wave, and of course the demand of oxygen is rising with this facility. If the government is providing 500 beds with 500 oxygen cylinders, certainly the oxygen demand will rise.
Right.
Also, ventilator demand will also rise. So keeping this in mind, all the governments, both the center and Delhi, will have to work together to chalk out a plan to run such facilities smoothly. Ankit.
This is a very, very important facility. 500 ICU beds in Delhi would prove to be a big help as far as the patients are concerned. Go to the Delhi government's Corona app right now and you will see that you will not find a single ICU bed anywhere across the city. These 500 should be immediately released to the public so that serious patients can get help. All right, with that, we're slipping into a very short break. Thanks, Abhishek, for joining us. On the other side, there are certain pictures, few stories that will haunt us even after the pandemic.